on the system older than 26. Listen to this.
You know, one of the problems, and I heard about this in Iowa, is what happens when a 26-year-old becomes a 27-year-old and is no longer eligible to be on his or her parents' policy. That was one of the best changes in the Affordable Care Act. And the fact is that a lot of young people aren't making the income they need yet to be able to afford their own health care. So we have to look out to see what we're going to be able to do to help them.
And what would that be, Mrs. Clinton? Perhaps taking the money that you and your husband have garnered into the Clinton Foundation and dispersing it to people under 35, let's say, so they can buy health care, or using it more for private jets and yacht travel and fancy mansions all over the world? What rubbish. It's the Bolshevik Revolution. Who's going to pay for it? Tell me who's going to pay for slackers who are staying at home, who don't have a job or don't want a job, never will have a job, and they want to stay on a state-run health care system. Who is going to pay for it? Again, they're targeting the middle class. Again, they're targeting the bourgeoisie. Once again, they're targeting the middle class. Once again, they're targeting what was known in the Soviet era as the bourgeoisie. Nothing has changed under the sun. You have a hardcore class of Bolsheviks disguised as progressives who want to bring about a revolution. They're a long way towards achieving it, by the way. Obama's taking them very, very far. If he is not stopped, he will achieve a full-scale revolution in this nation before 2016. That's my opinion. You have the liar of liars, the head of the I don't know what to call it, Imelda Marcos of American politics. That would be a mild statement. It's beyond comprehension that this liar, with all the money they've made, says the deck is still stacked in favor of those at the top, as though we're so dumb. We don't know about the billions of dollars that have been poured into the Clinton scam. It's astounding to me that she's gotten this far, given the fact that she's a complete liar. She caused Benghazi to happen. She's all around bad news. I don't believe she can win. And the reason the Dems and New York Times are turning on her is not because they don't like her. They're turning on her because they want someone more to the left than her to run for the presidency. You may not understand this. You may look back and see if Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, wins the presidency, that maniac. If that maniac wins, God forbid, given the fact that the Republicans have almost no one running of any note, if that maniac wins, you look back and say, I wish that Hillary had won. You see, you don't understand something here. We have a choice between two evil devils. If we only had a Republican nationalist running, who got up once and said borders, language, and culture, who got up and said English is the language of the land. When I'm president, I'm going to make it the official language. If you don't like it, then get out of the country. If he got up and said, I'm closing the borders, I'm putting the National Guard on the borders with Mexico, I'm closing the superhighways to Mexico, I'm ending a trade status with China, they're not getting it. Borders, language, culture. And he reaffirmed the culture of America. And tell us what the culture of America is. That man would win by a landslide. Can you name one Republican who's done that? No. And that's why I'm afraid that it's liable to be someone like Pocahontas or this guy O'Malley. Now, I don't know where they got him from all of a sudden. What, he looks good in a bathing suit now all of a sudden? So he's a presidential material? Just because he's white, he's got an Irish name? You don't think he's capable of being a far-left radical? He is. Don't you understand that his politics are far-left radicalism? Let's make believe there was no breaking news where King Obama was blocked by a federal court, with the music from Journey intercut with the revolutionary Angela Davis, Michelle Obama at Oberlin College over the weekend.
See, that is how you will rise above the noise and shape the revolutions of your time. That is how you will have a meaningful journey on those clamorous highways of life. And graduates, that is how you will carry on the proud legacy of this great institution for generations to come. So I'm here today because I'm proud of you all. I really am. I'm inspired by your commitment to service and social justice. And I'm impressed by the community that you all have created here. A warm, supportive, inclusive community that embodies the values that define this school. Today, I want to urge you to actively seek out the most contentious, polarized, gridlock places you can find, because so often throughout our history, those have been the places where progress really happens. the places where minds are changed, lives transformed, where our great American story unfolds.
If it walks like a revolutionary, if it talks like a revolutionary, you're living through a revolution. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is they got stopped today. The system seems to be working. It's a very big story. A federal appeals court. Many of you have no faith in the courts. But it happened. Obama's amnesty was punched in the nose today. They upheld an injunction against his deportation ruling. It's the second major legal setback for the revolutionary in the White House, for the revolutionary administration that thinks it can function as a law unto itself. The Fifth Circuit said, not so fast. The judges said that you don't have the power to do this on your own. And you can't rig the system because you don't like the system. Now, there's many different reports on this. Federal appeals court deals blow to President Obama's amnesty, says Stephen Dinon at the Washington Times. The very left-wing Associated Press has a different headline. Court won't lift hold on Obama immigration action. No one knows what that means. You see how they write a headline that you can't even understand? So if the average moron, let's say, licking an ice cream cone right now at Disneyland, is walking around, he looks into a machine, a machine, or he's at an airport and he gets beaten up with CNN News, they don't know what that means. Court won't lift hold on Obama immigration action. They say, well, I guess that's good for Obama. That's all they saw. This shows you the propaganda. But the only one who wrote the correct headline is me, Michael Savage. My headline is King Obama blocked by Fed court, and I have a picture of him on my website as a king, sitting on a royal chair. That's who he thinks he is, a king. That's all. What I want to do now is talk about something positive. My new novel, Countdown to Mecca, because it's out. I worked very hard on it. It's the last in the series. Many of you bought the previous editions of A Time for War and Abuse of Power. It's a thriller. It's a novel. It's power fiction. For those people who like action, Countdown to Mecca is it. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
The Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com, the only company I, Michael Savage, trust to buy my gold and silver from. SwissAmerica.com. The character in the White House, the evil man in the White House, the enemy of America in the White House, is working around the clock to destroy us. That's why I'm on the air. You know what he's doing now? Palmyra in Syria fell to the Islamo-fascists. They now control half of Syria because he undermined Assad. They're taking over the whole Middle East. This lying POS in the White House has the nerve to say it's not a setback. Not at all. They're rampaging through the world. Now it gets even better. He wants to bring in thousands of Muslims from Burma. Muslims who the Burmese want to kick out because they're troublemakers. You heard me. Write it down and send it to George Soros personally. Federal Express. Listen to what I just said to you. Burma is 90% Buddhist nation. They have a Muslim minority. The Muslim minority has been causing problems in Burma for 1,000 years. They are now wanting to resettle the so-called Rohingya. You've got to listen to what Obama is doing, and there's only one reason he's doing it. He is overwhelming the nation with Muslim immigrants to weaken the Christian majority. These Rohingya cannot work. They have multiple wives. They're unemployable. They'll be on welfare. They will wreck our schools. Why the hell is he allowed to do it? Listen to this idiot, Marie Barf.
I think the Malaysians and the Indonesians have requested some help resettling people. We're taking a careful look at the proposal. We're prepared to take a leading role in any UNHCR organized multi-country effort to resettle the most vulnerable refugees. I note that more than 1,000 Rohingya have already been resettled.
Turn it off. I can't take this idiot. If there were war crime trials, she'd be up on the docket along with Obama for what they're doing to this country. This is the last days of the United States playing out right in front of our eyes. Should the United States play a leading role in absorbing Muslim refugees from Burma? Why would Obama overwhelm the nation with Muslim immigrants? There's only one answer. To further weaken the Christian majority who he hates down to his last strand of DNA. They will not work because they can't work. They don't speak the language. They'll never learn it. Many of them have multiple wives. It's part of their religion. They're unemployable. They'll be on welfare. They'll flood our schools with children who will require scarce educational resources to go for ESL, English as a second language. Then they'll force your daughter to take diversity training so she's not mad at them in the classroom. Why would you bring in Muslims from Burma? Why would you bring in Muslims who are uneducated, can't work, multiple wives, unemployable? They're going to go on welfare. They're going to require schools and police and doctor care. Why would you bring them in unless you wanted to destroy the country? Answer, because he wants to destroy the country, along with the vermin in the ACLU. Are you ready for this one? The ACLU in El Paso, Texas, has renamed illegal immigrants international commuters. I'll repeat that again because nobody can believe this. On May 13th, dozens of members of the ACLU, the Anti-Christian Liberties Union, on the U.S. side of the Santa Fe Street border bridge in El Paso, were handing out pamphlets to illegal aliens who they refer to as international commuters from Mexico. Obama has destroyed America. He is going to destroy it so it's unrecognizable unless he is stopped. He is a thug. Obama is a criminal thug. Do you understand this? He's the thug. Who gives him the authority to do this to this country? Who? The invisible Republican Party. It's very hard to navigate through the confusion of our world, isn't it? Isn't it really hard to wake up every day? I know a lot of people say they can't do it. They don't want to do it. Intelligent people turn the other way. They don't want to hear this anymore. They figure it's finished, it's over. A gang took over the country. A criminal anti-Christian gang took over America, and they're going to destroy it no matter what we do. I don't give up yet. I'm waiting for the day that they take Obama out in handcuffs. I'm waiting for the day that finally he's arrested for crimes against America. Now, I realize it's just a fantasy and it won't happen because the other party is exactly the same, except on fiscal matters. Yeah, I get it, yeah.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
But I think the system is starting to work. It seems to me that the system established long before these two radicals took over America will eventually rein in these revolutionaries. What am I talking about? King Obama blocked by federal court. That's my headline on michaelsavage.com. It came out minutes ago. I had a full show prepared that had nothing to do with amnesty for illegals. But guess what happened? The system seems to be working. A federal appeals court, that's the Fifth Circuit, which is very conservative, by the way, ruled against President King Obama and said that, no, you can't make immigration law on your own. You're not a king. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit ruled in favor of Texas, which had sued to stop the amnesty for illegal aliens on all key points. They found that Obama's amnesty likely broke the law governing how big policies are to be written. Here's what the judges wrote. Quote, the public interest favors maintenance of the injunction. Now, what this means is that the revolutionary and his wife and the minions of revolutionaries around them have nothing but contempt for our Congress, contempt for the people, contempt for the Constitution, are going to have to scheme a new way to flood America with the illegals. But for right now, King Obama has been blocked by a federal circuit court of appeals. It's a huge story. And I have to say that it looks to me as though the system is beginning to work to stop the revolutionary regime. The only thing standing between us, meaning justice, and the people, are the Republicans. And I'll tell you more about that in a little while. Now, my show today was not going to be about this, but this is huge news. My show is going to be on another subject. It was going to be about the revolutionaries running the country. And my show is going to be entitled, If It Walks Like a Revolutionary, If It Talks Like a Revolutionary, It Is a Revolutionary. And we were going to play Michelle Obama's revolution-inspiring speeches at Oberlin College. Once again, she did it. She can't help it. She comes out and she becomes Angela Davis every time she gives a graduation speech. Although she complained about the fact that people smeared her as being Angela Davis, she's sure doing a good job of enacting the Angela Davis within. I mean, she's channeling the Angela Davis. All she needs is a bandolier of bullets on her back, over her chest, rather. Now, something else you should know. I am sick as a dog. If I were a pilot, I wouldn't fly the plane today. But since I'm a talk show host and your life is not in my hands, just your mind. Your mind is in my hands.